Alright, so I'm back at the ZWO booth this year at NEAF with Simon. Good to see you again, Simon.
Good to see you, Ben. Glad to, you're looking really well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And ZWO has a new product, and it's basically an integration of the ASIair with a camera.
Yep. So we took the basic ASI 2600, the Duo version, and we've changed the back end. So what we've done is we've opened up the rear end of the camera so that we can fit an ASIair inside there. And there are some slight differences in this camera from our normal sort of ASIair. The ASIair 2600 has only 3 DC ports, and they're just tied on a bus. So one of these can be the input, 2 of them can be the output. There's no switching, there's no monitoring in them. It's a very simple setup.
So we can control a dew heater from one of these?
Yeah, you can still connect a dew heater in there. The output in these is limited to 3 amps. So, you know, unlike the ASIair, you've got 6 amps across all those ports. So there's a slight reduction in that because of the PC board size.
Now, into the ASIair is up to 7, right?
Yeah. So that is a slight difference. So if you're wanting to use a full suite of dew heaters and mount and, you know, other equipment, you might want to look at an ASIair. Where this thing is just amazing. We were setting this up at NEAF, you know, a few days ago. We connected this into a telescope, plugged in the power, and then we were like, what other cables do we need? You know, because the AM5 and the AM3 have Wi-Fi, you can connect this via Wi-Fi. So that was absolutely fantastic. The only additional cable you want to think about is if you have an EAF focuser, the focuser still requires power, it still requires a USB connection, so you still need that loop through. But we're thinking about how we can get around that. You know, how do we create a focuser that has power and has some kind of Wi-Fi connection?
Maybe battery powered?
Yeah, it could be. You know, we haven't worked out it at a wireless power yet, so, you know.
Yeah, we're not Tesla. But.
Yeah. So
now let me ask one quick question. So I know it's 5 amps into it, right? Is what we need to supply it with.
Yeah. So you would use the standard ASIair power supply or the mount power supply, the standard black brick. So you could use that.
And USB from the AM5 to this isn't needed? Was that what?
No.
So you do need that.
So we use Wi-Fi. It does have a USB too. So if you wanted to use a USB, you could use that.
Okay.
So it has a 4-port USB hub on the back.
Yeah. And I know there is a USB-C port on here, but that's only for data transfer, correct?
Yes, right. The USB-C on this is the same as the USB-C on the ASIair. You can download the logs, you can download images off there. The one thing it doesn't do is to give you access to the actual camera like a normal ASCOM device. So you'll notice that the USB 3 is missing off the back panel. So if you need access like planetary imaging, for example, you probably would want to stick with the standard Duo rather than the ASIair 2600. The other thing is...
What's storage in this? What's the storage capacity?
Storage. 256 gigabytes.
Very nice.
Yeah. Actually, you know, the great thing about this is that we were trying to work out how do we give someone who's new to imaging a complete package. You know, and so it's a camera, it's a guide scope, it's got an ASIair built in, power it up, connect it to the mount, and away you go.
I think the only thing we're missing now is a focuser, but
yeah,
and maybe a rotator.
The rotator. Yeah. So let's talk about the rotator, shall we, Ben?
Everyone's asking.
Yeah. So the rotator hardware is done. Good. The ASCOM drivers are done. The part that is missing is the integration into ASIair. And you know, if you're familiar with ASIair, you know that the camera angle adjustment inside the software is there. The bit that's missing is the smarts around actually telling the camera angle adjuster where to go, depending on what it's seeing. So you're going to ask me now, and I'll beat you to it. We don't have a set date but it is being worked on and it's being actively tracked as a priority. The boss?
It should be this year, though, right?
Absolutely. So Sam, when our boss was here, he's heard it for the whole 4 days. It's been, where's the camera angle adjuster? Hey, with the message is loud and clear. The priority is there, so it's coming. I would expect, yes, well before the end of the year.
Now, do you think they'll ever put our camera rotator in the camera?
It's a possibility. One of the other things we were asked is like, why don't you put the ASIair in the mount? And I don't know if you've ever taken the cover off an AM5 or an AM3.
Not much room.
There's not much space in the AM5. There's even less in an AM3. So trying to fit that in there is kind of hard. But yeah. My thought is, having the camera angle adjuster as a separate component is great, because if you want to use it, you can do. It's easy to take off if you don't need it.
Now, for those of us that are waiting for an AM7 or like a bigger mount, is there a hope for that in the next year or two?
Yes. So you'll have noticed recently we were collecting a questionnaire on mounts and needs and requirements. It's very obvious to us internally that there is a need for a larger instrument on the market. So that's actively being looked at as well. So again, no time scales, but it's we are definitely looking at that. What that will include, can't really say, but our feeling, being a TJ&I, it should be an observatory grade instrument. It should have a large enough capacity, for bigger use.
One more quick thing. This is about the Seestar, the Seestar's development and kind of future plans that you guys have for it. Tell us about it.
So, right now we've got the Seestar 50 and everybody's loved this. We've sold so many, massive interest in it. But the question is always, so what about the future? So we're hearing that loud and clear, and what we're thinking is that the Seestar development will go in two directions. One is we'll continue developing for newcomers, smaller, lighter, portable equipment, but easy to use, compact. The other path that we're going to look at is, everybody will grow through this. They're wanting something more advanced. So we'll look at some, higher level equipment, some more advanced equipment, maybe some larger apertures, more, the software will be, more aligned to what an advanced imager will want. So who knows where we'll go, but over the next year or two, you'll definitely see many more products out of the Seestar range.
Sounds good, Nelson. Simon, thank you.
Yeah, as for 4 days of this, it's like crazy. So I think you'll see some development really, really soon, and just stay tuned to the ZWO pages for the news.
Yeah. Oh, what about those occultation studies? Do you think that'd be something that maybe this could do?
Yeah, we've already got people that are doing exoplanet hunting, for example. One of the things that we're really interested in supporting is the citizen science aspect of Seestar. So that's definitely something you're going to see over the next year as well. So yeah, it's quite amazing, when you get the reports of what the people have been doing with Seestar. It's pretty impressive.
Sounds like good days ahead, Simon.
Yep, certainly has been. Good to see you, and look after yourself.
Oh, thank you.